How can anyone, whether they want to work in a language school or privately from their own laptop anywhere in the world, create a rewarding and impactful career teaching English as a second language, even if they are just starting out or have no teaching experience or ability? Hi, my name is Lynette Kim, and here on the TESOL Talk podcast, I aim to answer that very question. Today we're going to be talking about another frequently asked question, and this one is, how do I teach English as a second language online? So who do I teach? How do I teach? When? Where? All of that. And it is something that you need to consider because, people don't know automatically where the online jobs are. How can you find these? How do you find people to tutor? All of this is so relevant and, really important questions. So to answer these, you can start with, firstly, there are literally hundreds, probably thousands of online ESL schools around the world. I'd have to say thousands. And these schools have set themselves up over the last decade or so to cater almost exclusively to online teaching. And they're in a range of different countries in Asia, South America. Basically everywhere now. This is such a big thing. And there are even online schools here in Australia for English as a second language. So it really is getting large. So how do we teach this? So there's different ways to teach. You can private tutor or you can teach online. But first, in schools, I'm going to start with teaching in the schools. Schools have their own platform. Generally, like in the old days, everything was done on Skype, and then from Skype it went to Zoom and GoToMeeting. And some online schools still use those, and people use those for private tutoring. But if you're employed by an online school, generally now they've invested the money and they have a really good platform that you log into. So when you're recruited for a job, they take you for a little tour through their platform. They have a recruitment officer, someone who trains you up, and you will go on there and you'll have a look and you'll be, given a dummy classroom to play around with all the tools and things that you use. So yes, there's technology involved. You don't need a special computer for this, just a regular computer with good broadband, Wi-Fi, whatever. You need to have that and a good headset. So you need a headset with a microphone that cancels out noise around you and you can hear really well. So these things are really important. When you're teaching online, if it's for a school, you'll log in onto their platform and you'll have a look. Now, they will give you the lesson. Usually it's on the platform before the lesson's ready to start, and you'll get time to look that over, get familiar with it. The lessons always follow a similar format, so you don't need to stress about this. You'll get so used to it. You'll be able to see how lessons are always going to go. You'll know that the first slide is a warm-up or an introduction. The next slide, talk about some pictures. The next slide, talk about some vocabulary. So the schools generally make the materials in a PPT slide format that you're going to teach. And a number of reasons for this. Number one is because it's a very competitive market for them. They want to make sure they've got the best resources and they've got their own resources because this is a selling point for them. So lucky for teachers, generally speaking, you don't have to make your own materials to teach when you're working for a school. Some schools, though, having said that, do get teachers as part of when they're first employed to make a few PPTs that they submit to show that they know how to teach. And these PPTs get used by the schools. They'll adapt them and put them into their repertoire of lessons or library, whatever. So that can happen too. But anyway, so you're going to log onto the school's platform. You'll get time to have a look at what you're going to teach, the PPT, and get used to it. Then the students are all going to start coming onto the platform when it's time for the lesson just before it begins. So you will be able to see where you allow students in or they'll automatically come in, and then you're going to teach them on that platform using that PPT and what other resources that they provide. And that's how you teach that lesson. And, body language is still factored in. The students can still see the top half of your body. You use your voice. Your voice is incredibly important when you're teaching online. You can use it to gain attention, emphasize, gain their interest. So voice is very, very important. So this is how you're going to teach online, generally on a school's platform. Now, having said all that, if you're privately tutoring, it's really good if you have Zoom, a cheap subscription to Zoom or GoToMeeting. Some people still teach using Skype, but the features on Skype are quite limited. But, people do it. So, there's Skype, Zoom, GoToMeeting. There are other platforms as well that you can use. Now, another way you can teach online. Hi, it's Lynn here. I hope you're enjoying this episode of TESOL Talks. I just want to let you know that if you're interested in teaching English as a second language, the best way to get started is by getting your TESOL certification. And I recommend a TESOL Australia course because, well, I wrote them. I put everything that I wish I had been taught when I was first teaching into the TESOL Australia courses, along with a lot of other information and training. If you have any questions or you need someone to help you figure out a plan to create a rewarding and impactful career teaching English as a second language, simply go to our website, tesolau.com. That's TESOLAU.com, and fill in the inquiry form to get professional advice on your goals and exact situation. Now let's get straight back to the episode. Is that there are platforms that you can actually join, and you can advertise your services, and that platform actually markets to ESL students worldwide and gets them to come to their platform to see all of you guys as teachers, and they take a commission off of your teaching. So, there's options. So again, you'll be using their platform. They run the whole thing, usually. And that's how you teach, using their platform, but you will be creating your own materials generally for this. This is, who you're going to teach. You're going to teach either private students that you find yourself. Now, if you're looking for your own private students, when you do a TESOL Australia TESOL course, like the International TESOL Certificate or Diploma, part of the course teaches you how to market yourself for free. And there are ways to do this. So you will learn about where to go to find where the students are hanging out online, what websites, what podcasts, what platforms have your students already, so you can actually find them and you can market yourself to them. So there's all kinds of exciting things like, and YouTube is a big one to use for a lot of countries, where, the students are there watching videos of other teachers, and where you can make contact with students and you can have your own channel. So there are numerous ways that you can actually teach online to international students. And the when is whenever your schedule is, it's good for you. So generally speaking, so if we take Australia, for example, Asia, most parts of Asia are 1 to 2 hours different. So really easy to teach Asian students. They do early morning lessons and they do afternoon and evening lessons. It depends if you're working for a school or working for yourself. Sometimes you can book lessons for weekends. And a lot of questions that we get answered are things like, can you get a full-time job out of this? There are people who work full-time hours teaching online. They've built it up. They do a combination of working for schools and private tutoring. Yes, it is possible, and many do it, but you don't have to earn a good income. A lot of people only work around 20 hours a week, and they work after hours, so they're free during the day. And a lot of stay-at-home mums and people like this, they like to work the different hours when their children are in bed. So that's the when. You set your schedule. Now, if you work for an online school overseas, generally they give you a monthly schedule. And in that schedule, you mark off the hours that you're available for teaching. They take that back from you, and then they will book your classes amongst those hours you've made yourself available for. Now, is this going to limit you as far as work is concerned? Well, it depends. If you're only available for a few hours and they are not hours that students are generally booking, it could. But because, everyone's in different time zones and different countries, more often than not, you can actually get teaching work within odd hours or the hours that you want to work. So it is possible. You just need to have yourself out there with different schools. And like in a session that I did previously with Josh, this is what it's all about, when, who, and how you can pick these things up and earn yourself a very good living and a wonderful lifestyle teaching English as a second language online. And it's not difficult. The course gives you everything that you need to get you started, including guaranteed job interview with an online school. So, it gives you a start. Now, if you we can't guarantee the job because you've got to be a good fit and the school's got to be a good fit. But we can even get you more than one job interview. And there are stacks of schools. In part of the job support, you will actually get lists of schools that you can apply to. We have the Hire a Teacher page where you can advertise your services, and we get emailed from schools overseas all the time wanting students. You can even find online teaching jobs advertised on seek.com.au now and all over the place. But even check out the TESOL Australia website, the job board, and the job slider on the homepage, because there are online jobs advertised there that are ready for our graduates to be able to access. So teaching online, it's not difficult, and it's a great lifestyle that anyone can do if they have the TESOL training and all the information on where the students are, who you're going to teach, how you're going to find those people, and the technology and the platforms, everything's there to support it. So unless, you want to, you don't even have to make your own lessons up. Part of the TESOL Australia course is you receive for the international certificate a 1-year subscription for the TESOL Australia exclusive online library of lessons, which there are lessons for every level of children, every level of adult, and business English lessons. And these are PPT style lessons with audio that you can download and keep. And we add lessons into that library regularly. So teaching online, it's never been easier to get started and earn yourself a great living.